Hi, I'm Skinny Cheeks. It has been announced that account-wide achievements are coming. We talked about this for a few hours on my stream, but I thought I'd make a shorter, more to-the-point video for here on YouTube. A lot of people are pretty excited for account-wide achievements, and I'm not trying to rain on that parade. Overall, I think probably a lot more good than bad comes from this, but once I started thinking more about account-wide titles and trifecta runs, the no-death hard mode speedruns, it started to become more clear how this could have a negative effect on Endgame and ESO. So in the current iteration of the achievement system, once you have unlocked an achievement, the cosmetic that is tied to it, if there is one, is account-wide, but the title that your character can wear is not, and has to be earned again if you want an alternate character to use that title. This is a pretty small reward, but one that keeps many endgame trial guilds going because often people like to repeat achievements on alternate characters, maybe do it on a different class or a different role, and this leaves something to still earn even if there is no cosmetic item left to unlock. In the new system they're proposing, once you have done a trifecta once, you now have the cosmetic unlocked if there is one, plus the title on all of your characters. So what this essentially means is there is no longer any reward at all that can come from doing these no-death hard mode speedrun challenges past that first time that they are accomplished. Zero rewards. These can be really fun and challenging for groups and take a ton of coordination and effort. So having the titles that could be earned on alternate characters if you wanted to face that challenge again was a fairly nice incentive to do so. I thought this post from Haley on Twitter gave a pretty nice perspective as well. As an ESO endgamer, here's my perspective of the global achievements. Positive. If you main a class role that isn't meta, then you don't need to worry about having to do the hard content on that class or role. Negative. A lot of the endgame community is built up of people who look to achieve these achievements on multiple characters. There's a dopamine rush and gratification you get after all your hard work. With the achievements being global, there will be less meaning to them, which means there will be less need and want to get them on other characters. Ultimately, I think this will shrink and damage the endgame community somewhat. There will be less people wanting to do those achievements again, which could make things harder for those wanting to get their first achievement. What do you all think about it? And I completely agree with this post. To me, what it all boils down to though, this isn't necessarily an issue with the achievements or titles becoming account-wide, but instead what it really does is expose the lack of incentives or rewards for completing the trifecta runs. So let's compare this to clearing a dungeon on veteran mode. You can argue that the loot and the plunder you get are your rewards past your initial first time clearing, and that is a repeatable experience. For veteran hard mode, it's also similar. After you have achieved it and unlocked the title and possible cosmetic that goes with that, you can continue to clear on hard mode for the extra gold plunder that is worth more, and usually extra gear drops or higher quality gold gear drops, depending on the specific trial. However, going up that next step from clearing on hard mode to a trifecta run, there is no additional incentive. You can die 100 times on a run, or you can do a perfect run and your reward is the same. So pretty much to sum it up, the titles were really the only thing we had left to strive for in these runs, and even though it wasn't much, it was still something. So how can we do better? I know a ton of people are really happy about account-wide achievements and titles, and for a lot of the areas of the game, I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing at all. Would I prefer achievements to be account-wide but exclude the titles? Yes, that would be my preference, but I think a lot of people are excited by the idea of having the titles across their account. So what that means is if we're gonna stick with titles being account-wide, we need to further incentivize these tougher achievements. Otherwise, where is the replayability that we currently have? With the proposed changes, it is a one and done system now, and that's that. So we'll start with the most simple thing they could do, and that's just something small like adding a special color for the title or having a symbol next to the title if that title was specifically earned by that character. I don't love this, but at least it would give something for you to earn on alternate characters, and it would be really easy to implement. On the other end of the spectrum, one of the best solutions I can see for this would be if they had a token-based cosmetic reward system. So similar to the event tickets, maybe you could have trifecta tokens that you could spend to unlock special cosmetics. Maybe even stick with the theme of having a base reward that can morph into many other rewards like you do with the event tickets. Imagine getting a token for doing a trifecta and you can unlock a pet with it. And then then with another token, you could morph that pet into something even bigger, like a skin or a mount. Obviously, this is just an example, and you could have all sorts of different rewards tied into this. Another cool thing would be to have furnishings that only drop each time you meet the achievement requirements on a run. That way you can stack up some kind of visual tie-in to how many times you've accomplished it. Systems like these could add in just as much, if not more, replayability than the previous system of earning titles for alternate characters, since we're also limited there by our number of characters and if they're leveled and ready for those challenges. I'd happily give up the title hunt for a system like this. Bottom line is, whether ZOS ever really meant for it to or not, trifecta runs became a huge part of ESO's endgame for PvE, and they've essentially just removed the replayability for that. So whether it be keeping certain titles locked to the character that achieved it, differentiating the titles to make them stand out for a character that has done the achievement, or adding in some kind of new reward system for running trifectas, something needs to be implemented to keep these fun and challenging achievements worth running past your initial accomplishment. Thank you so much for stopping by. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about the new account-wide achievements and titles. And if you are happy with them, would you be okay with some of the compromises that I introduced to keep endgame replayability going? A big thank you to my current Patreon supporters. If you'd like to see how you can help support the channel through Patreon, I'll have a link in the description below. And a special thanks to Nicholas, Simon, Privy League Guild on PlayStation's EU server, Cougar is Bay in the Cougar City Guild, the Order of War Guild, Iffy, Cantankerous Cat, Shady, Blakewin816, and my wonderful wife. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.